I'll always remember somebody saying to me that when we die, we actually don't exist, we just blink into nothingness. And I was thinking, well, this is such a sad view, because how can we understand what death is if we don't understand what life is in the first place? Of course, scientists tend not to look at the religious aspect of things, and what they'll tell you is there was a big bang millions and millions of years ago that created millions of rocks that expanded into the universe that we know, and these rocks turned into planets, and then one day, just out of chance, life was accidentally created. I mean, scientists will base all their theories on fact. For something as enormous as the Big Bang to happen, it must require some other intelligence that we are totally unaware of. An intelligence that our minds can't actually comprehend, because our minds are not built with the complexity of this intelligence. I mean, there are all kinds of crazy religions in this world that all believe in a god of some kind. I mean, I'm thinking that there is some kind of god, but surely they're not just in charge of this planet, they're in charge of the whole universe. Because surely if there is a god, then what that is a greater intelligence, and they actually created the Big Bang in the first place. I believe it to be very important for people to realise that very, very few religions have actually been proven to be true. There's only one religion that can actually be proven, and that is the religion of spiritualism. Of course, your average person on this planet will hear the word spirit and think bad things and bad thoughts because of all the nonsense movies that have been created regarding Ouija boards and contacting spirits and demons, evil spirits. But to be honest, this is not reality. The reality is that spiritualism is the only way we can find out what happens when we die and where this universe actually came from. The spirit world as we know it is more like another dimension that we just can't see. I mean, there's so many ways we can actually contact this dimension, and they can actually contact us. They can see us, but we just can't see them. It's just the way it is. If you visit any spiritualist church, you'll notice a few differences compared to your average Christian or Catholic church. One of which is that there'll be no silence, there'll be laughter. People don't dress in smart clothes or anything like that. It's all about the energy. I mean, the energy helps spirits to actually come through to the medium and give them messages. The higher the energy, the easier it is for the spirits to come through. I think a very important aspect that people should be aware of is that there's nothing to be scared of contacting the spirit world. Don't believe any movies you see on the television where the evil spirits come and haunt places. That just simply doesn't happen. Spirits are in another dimension that they cannot harm humans. There's never been a case of a spirit actually killing another human being or harming them in any kind of way. I think that anybody that doesn't want to follow a religion that can actually be proven is in denial, to be honest. I mean, anybody who follows the Christian religion or anybody who is Catholic and they don't wish to communicate with spirits as proof that their family members still live on are in denial, and that they shouldn't be following a religion in the first place, to be honest. I mean, can you imagine what it would be like to actually pass into the spirit world and then have a great need to actually come forward and communicate with your loved ones on this physical world? But because they're following a religion that cannot be proven and does nothing for the spirit world, can you imagine how frustrating that would actually be for a spirit? I mean, not being able to communicate with us on this physical world because they're too scared to follow spiritualism. Of course, I'm not saying that going to a spiritualist church and getting a message from a medium is 100% proof of the spirit world, because it isn't. I mean, some mediums can be fake. There is such a thing as fake mediums, even in the spiritualist church. However, if this is the case, there are many other experiments that you can do by yourself. I mean, for instance, you can get 4 or 5 people to sit round a table and put a glass on the table. If they all put their fingers on the glass, you can actually ask the spirit world to come through. They'll come through, they'll spell out their name, they'll go to the person on the table that they're connected to. They'll give messages that only that person will know, that nobody else will know. There's so many questions you can ask the spirit world that people don't realise how much the spirit world will actually tell you. But there are things that I've learnt about the spirit world which would surprise people. I mean, there is rules in the spirit world, and that there is something or someone in charge. Spirits are only allowed to tell you certain things. For instance, they're unable to tell you lottery numbers and things like that, because apparently everybody has a destiny. It just depends what questions you ask the spirit world. I mean, if you don't get a reaction off the glass, then you can ask the spirit world if they're actually allowed to answer this or not. And surely enough, they will answer that. They will tell you if they're allowed to see it or they're not allowed to see it. If you do conduct the glass experiment, it's best to do it in somebody's home. I know a lot of people won't dare do this in the house, so you can go to a separate place or even do it outdoors if you wish. However, if you are in somebody's home, the spirits that come through tend to be family members, because they connect to the energy in that home and the energy around the family. And we've done the glass in places with no energy involved in the people around the glass, and we tend to get spirits that have nothing to do with that family. We get spirits just coming along just out of curiosity, giving messages or playing around with us, really, just moving the glass around, just having a bit of a laugh. But we do strongly recommend that you do either carry something on you with energy from the spirit you'd like to contact. It's natural for the human mind to think bad things and bad thoughts. So if you ever get upset doing this, please stop instantly. Because although spirits can never harm you in this life, that they can actually affect your mind, the way you think about spirits. I mean, if you constantly think there's a spirit there and there's a spirit following you around, then you're going to hear things. Your imagination's going to go wild, and this can actually damage some people's thoughts. So if you are that kind of person who can't understand and let things go, then I'd strongly advise not to do this. There's always a chance that the glass won't move or nothing will happen at all. I mean, if this is the case, then it's just basically the spirit world may not believe it's time for you to have the message. They may think you're not ready for it personally, because the spirit world know everything you're going to do. If you arrange to do the glass at some point, maybe on a Tuesday night, the spirit world will already know that you're doing it then, so they will know whether they're ready to give you the messages or not. The level of intelligence the spirit world have is far beyond our capabilities. I mean, our minds and bodies just cannot comprehend the intelligence the spirit world have. From what I've learned so far, we are here for a reason. We are on this physical world for a reason, and I believe that reason is to learn things for when we go back to the spirit world. Because many spiritualists believe that we come from the spirit world into this world to learn lessons and to have more experience of life, to help us in the spirit world. But what happens after that, I'm not quite sure at the moment. That's something I'm working on. And the way I'm working on this is by asking the spirits things. I mean, I've got a list of things I can ask the spirits every time I do a seance or a glass session. We don't understand the limits of our bodies. Most people just presume that spirits have a body as well, which is why people see ghosts. But personally, I don't believe in ghosts. I think ghosts are just people's imagination, seeing people that are not there. I think spirit world is basically just energy that leaves our body when we die, and it goes on to more complex things that we don't understand. if scientists use the spirit world to find things out, rather than these huge telescopes costing millions and millions of dollars, looking into space, finding little white blobs which they say is a planet that's similar to Earth, when all they really need to do is contact the spirit world in a scientific way. The spirit world won't tell you everything, because there's only certain things they're allowed to tell you. However, the spirit world do tell you things that they're allowed to tell you, and one of those things is that there is life on other planets. Of course, I'm not saying we should stop exploring our universe, because that's what we're here to do. We as humans on this physical world are here to evolve, and one day we're going to evolve to a stage where we can actually travel to other planets and communicate with other races and alien beings. That is what we're here to do. The spirit world have confirmed this on many occasions when I've asked them using the glass seance. We are here to evolve and to learn. But until the day we actually pass over to the spirit world, we'll never fully understand it, and they've confirmed this many times when we've asked them. You never really know what it's like in the spirit world until you actually pass to the spirit world. But until then, we can just enjoy this life and have faith that there is something after we die. And just remember, we know absolutely nothing. Our physical bodies do not allow us to know anything about where this universe is from and why we are here at the moment. So make a visit to your local spiritualist church. You never know, you might get the proof you need, and you might get a surprising message that proves there is an afterlife.